What's up guys, Shane here from Fugatech 3D Printing, and today we're checking out silk filament from AIO Robotics. Welcome back guys. So I talked to my very good friend, the CEO of AIO Robotics. I say good friend because he replies to my emails and he's the boss, so yay. Anyways, I said, hey, I just saw you guys got some silk filament that came out and I'd love to try it out. Well, here we are, short time later, and he sent the entire lineup of their silk filament that they have, which is pretty cool. So looking here at the colors, it's kind of hard for me to even tell. So this one is, let's see, we have green silk. We have their silk gold, and then blue silk. Here we have white silk, and then here we have their pink silk. Now each one of these come with kind of like a color on them. It doesn't match up as well on these spools, but on other spools I've seen it match up very well for their regular PLA. And again, this is a PLA based filament. These are only 1/2 kilogram rolls, so take that into account when you're purchasing these. The price is still pretty good. AIO Robotics is pretty good filament in my opinion. At least the other stuff I've tried from them has been pretty good. I'm really hoping this is going to be the same kind of quality for like a PLA product, and a little bit different. Silk filaments require a little bit something different to print with, but either way, like I said, here on the box there's a simple sticker. These are plain wood boxes, nothing on them except for the sticker. Tells you the name. It's silk filament, 1% by millimeters. It's a 500 gram roll. They tell you to print this between 195 and 230 C, and it gives you the color, barcode, and whatnot. So let's open up. I'll just do this one. Since I have this one in my hand, here it is. Now these are different bags than what I've seen them have before. And so we have a clear side on one, silver on the other, nice tight pack. Let's see, try our reliable 3D printing pen and filament. So they also have a rewards program, which is pretty cool. I'll talk to you guys about that a little bit later. But here is the spool, and what's awesome, this is a Ziploc bag. So I'm going to get this open, and it's got a nice size silica pack in there, full size silica pack, and here's a little roll. So I mean, I can barely palm it, it's about as big as my hand, not quite all the way full on the spools. There's still some space on there. And here on the side here they have their little sticker again, just a little smaller. There's their name. It's repeated on both sides. Both sides have cutouts in them to let you know how much filament you have left. They have the little cutouts here for you to kind of hook your filament in, as they've done right here, to keep it there. It's looks like injection molded spool, so it's one piece, nice and solid. The wind is really nice. This green is bright, very bright. So I'm gonna try a little bit from a couple of these. I don't want to waste them just to try them, but I will try a couple of the rolls, which is pretty awesome of them for sending so much out. So I'm really hoping that this stuff prints out well, but only one way to find out. I'm going to throw this on a couple of the printers. I'll be right back and we'll see how it does. All right, and we're back. So I did a couple prints in each one of the filaments. I figured they sent it, I might as well just throw each one on, at least get a couple prints done and see how they end up turning out. I can say they all printed extremely consistently. Everything was printed on the Monoprice i3, that new itty bitty one that I recently got. The settings were pretty close. I was a little off on all of them, so I decided to just leave it. The retraction was the one thing that was not perfect. So I can actually see in each print how it's the same in every single one. And since it's the same in every single one, I can be very consistent with it. There's only one model that was not printed on the Monoprice, and that was this one, this tall spiral trophy that was printed on the G-Tech A10. My retraction settings were way off on that one. I shouldn't say way off. I mean, there's no stringing, but there is quite a bit of pimpling. So I think that the restart amount, when it ends retraction and it starts again, it pushes out a bit. Sometimes you push out a little too much, and when you push out too much, you get the blobs on the side here, and I did have that. Also, the top kind of messed up because the bed got stuck on the cabling. So the bed was stuck on the extruder cabling and hot-end cabling that came up and over. I just didn't have the wires exactly right because this was max height of that printer. I think that printer goes up to 260 millimeters, something like that. And I think I set this to like 240, somewhere in those midst. And yeah, it did have some issues, but it's very cool. It's kind of satisfying to kind of spin it. You can kind of see that here. I do like that. So it came out okay, but the top again got screwed up because it started printing on itself. Luckily, I came back into the room and I was like, why is the bed not really moving the way it's supposed to? Like, it can't go up any higher. It just keeps running over. It's like, crap. Turn it off real quick, done. I'll have a nice time printing out this Wonder Woman logo in the gold. And the gold has a nice shine to it. The finish on this is really, really good. The monoprice printer actually does extremely good results now that I have it tuned. My original video, I did have some issues with stringing with their filament on their settings and their models, but I went ahead and created my own using a copy of my Monoprice Select Mini profile in Simplify 3D, and that, again, it's printing out actually pretty perfect. And so again, my coin was printed in every single one of them, and there is some, you know, a little bit of, not oozing, but like just the dimpling, the pimples on the print, which most of them you can just run your finger over them and they pop right off, but it is on there. Over the support, they all performed excellent. So that has an unheated bed, so I had to use glue to hold it down. A lot of the support actually stayed on the bed and didn't come with the print when I popped it off, which is great to see. But bottom layers all behaved really, really well. The over top of the support behaved really well, and even around all the cogs also behaved really well. And that was a big problem that I had with some other silk filament that I have previously reviewed, because it just would not adhere as well as it should when especially doing things like bridging and over support. It just didn't quite have it there, and going up over on these, you know, overhangs, you know, this rounded part here, it sometimes can get lost. So it did a really good job, and I was very happy to see that. And when I say it did that on all the filaments, all of them. If I turn them over, they all look identical underneath. They all, again, same settings. Where there was a little blip on one, there's a blip on the other. Where it didn't quite connect right here, it's exact same on this model as well. So I can have great consistency between each of the colors, you know, which it all should pretty much behave the same. I don't really think pigment has much to do with the quality of a filament, but again, they all performed very, very well. I also printed a few vases. Now I was surprised with the pink when it's, you know, in the coin, and you know there's, you know, layers behind it, it's pretty shiny. The vase mode, it's not terribly as shiny, it's a little more muted, but layer lines are almost non-existent. There's a few defects in here just because the way the printer works, and you kind of see some resonating because of the drivers, but very, very hard to see layers in this. And here on the green, I just did very small. This is a model inspired by Devin at Make Anything's vase. This is not his vase though, but very hard to see layers in this, and super smooth, very, very nice when you print out the vases. I always said this with silk filaments, my favorite thing to do is print out a vase. It came out well. Now the blue, I did have my settings off a little bit, and this is actually the second model I did. I tried the blue first, I went ahead and printed my coin, and then I went ahead and printed out the vase. I did have to make some changes from the vase mode just because it did not do very well here at the bottom. Now all I did was up my extrusion by 0.01, very, very small change. The other vases came out perfectly fine, so I think it was just a little too low for, I mean, it printed fine for the coin. You can't tell the difference between this coin and this coin on the extrusion multiplier, but you definitely can tell here. And also the blue was a little bit more stringy, so I think I should have lowered my temperature a little more on the blue. All of these were printed at 210, so I think this might have needed like a 200 or 205 just for some odd reason. Again, very little bit of stringing, even though the stringing is only caused by a little bit too hot and the fan being too strong. I didn't notice that with the green or with the pink. Again, all printed on the Monoprice, so I'm not sure about that there. And then I went ahead and printed out a 200% benchy. Actually, I think this was like 175. No, this was 200. And it came out great. You can, again, the problem with silk filaments is that your layer changes, so where your retraction starts and stops, no matter how good your settings are, you're going to see your layer changes unless you are able to manually move them to somewhere else so that are less noticeable. but you're gonna see them. So here on the front of the bow, you're gonna see it mainly down the front, a few here on the sides there, but a lot of the benchies change, at least that I've noticed, here on the back, I guess back left if you're looking head on, you know, with it. There's a lot of layer changes there, so you usually see things in there, but it bridged extremely well over the front window. The portholes in the front look round and great. That's a printer thing more so, but again, bridged over the doors as well. No real sagging anywhere. It filled in very nicely. Nice solid layers. No real under extrusions anywhere. I shouldn't say no real. There were no under extrusions on any of the filaments that I had, which means it's very, very consistent, and that is a constant thing I've seen from AIO Robotics. They're great about the consistency of their filament. And my kids thought this was pretty cool. The Star Cup from Mario Kart. They like that. They like racing Mario Kart, so I'll give this to one of them, whoever wins next. But I would love to print this real big. I might do that one day. So yeah, I think this stuff actually prints extremely well. I'm very happy with it. Probably the best silk filament I have had yet. The last roll I had from, I can't remember who it was. You can go back to previous videos and find that one, or I'll link it here. But it was good, but I had issues with it on several printers, so it wasn't that good. And I've had a few sample filaments before from other companies that print out pretty well, but overall, going across the board, this printed extremely well. And I mean, it's printed well. I can't really say anything else. Obviously, I didn't use the full rolls yet. If anything does come up for me printing full rolls, I'll make an update to you guys. But doing a bunch of prints on on every roll, I did a couple prints on each one. It worked out really great. So I want to thank Jens over at AIO Robotics for sending this to me. And after we had talked just yesterday, I received an email from him saying, "Hey Shane, I will send 5 rolls to anyone in the US, 5 individual rolls to anyone in the US. So we're going to go ahead and do a contest. And I'm going to go ahead and put down a Gleam contest down there, but we're going to make a change. I'm going to only send out 3 rolls to the general public who are subscribers to my channel, and I'm going to reserve 2 rolls just for patrons. So I'm going to use random.org for my patrons. Whoever's a patron at the end of 7 days from the date that this video posts, and all the links and everything will be down in the description, 7 days from then, I will go ahead and randomize my patrons and go ahead and pick 2 of them, have to be in the US, for winners there. 3 rolls will be through Gleam, and that will be down in the description how to get there. And again, have to be in the US for this. This is going to be sent straight from AIO Robotics, and it is their silk filament. I don't know if you can choose the color, but if you win, let me know what color you want, and I will talk to Jens over there and see what we can do for you guys. So there we have it, guys. A little contest for you for some really, really good filament. So please head down there and check it out. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Didn't, thumbs down. Talk in the comments down below. I want to talk to you guys about how you like the filaments. Again, video is a little bit different here just because I'm in a new space. Everything's not perfect yet, but I will have future videos will be a little bit better with the close-ups and things like that. If you guys want to support me and you want to have a few extra chances to get at some of this filament, become a patron. Down below there's a link. Donate me $1 more on a monthly basis, and what you guys send me there help me out here at the channel. My current patrons, I love you guys. You're awesome. Thank you for your support over such a long period for a lot of you guys. So thank you there. If you guys want to do a one-time donation, there's Streamlabs and Buy Me a Coffee down below. Or if you want to use my affiliate links down below, slot feelings, different things for like Amazon, eBay, AliExpress, and others down there. Go ahead and use those. And a little slice of what you buy comes back here to me to help out with the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. And until next time, happy printing.